be concerned as much as the others about skin cancer. Please wear suntan lotion. And when you're a child, the children are the ones are the most vulnerable, and they're the ones that are most likely later on in life to have manifestations of it. Finally, I'm proud of TGN in Arizona that is, we'll bring the microphone, sir. And then we'll go to the sir.
Chad Wilson, Prescott, Arizona. In your opening comments, you discussed the Three River Basin Partnership. You talked about a significant involvement of mayors and council, but not to the exclusion of others. Currently, the Verde Basin Partnership has got a significant, that only elected officials would have a vote.
I just met with most of the mayors, and their view is that they feel, I think appropriately, that they're in a distinct minority status as opposed to many other organizations, and I sympathize with that. I think as elected officials, they should play a major role. But no conversation I've had with them have they said that other organizations should be excluded. And I'll be glad to get that from, is Mayor here? Still? Mayor? Yes, sir. Mayor, is that correct interpretation of your position?
The advertisement on this was that you want to get the views of some of the people. Well, this person's view is first build the wall.
Yes. Yes.
Second, well, good. You're representing me. Second is secure the northern border. Third item is this, let's see, counterfeit-proof identification required of all people, and then those that are already here illegally are going to find out they can't get a job, and voila, adios. And this is what Eisenhower and Truman did after World War II with a number of Mexican people that had come and helped out our nation in time of need. The jobs dried up, they went back south with a nice purse of gold. That's just my view, not necessarily others. I had people give me 6 questions to ask you. I won't get into them. Just present my view. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And then this gentleman down here next. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Jerry Bassett. I'm from Prescott Valley. We hear so much talk about all the servicemen that have lost their lives in Vietnam. In Iraq, I think the death count is up to around 2,700 and another 18,000 or something disabled. I was wondering if there's any figures kept on their anchor babies that you want to make legal.
Thank you, sir.
I cannot dignify that question with an answer.
What? That's true. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. How? It's happening. It's happening.
Would you please be quiet? Be quiet. Just be quiet.
You don't want to hear the facts.
I want you to be quiet.
I'm sorry, this is really happening in our border and in our neighborhoods, and you want to answer the question, Senator?
Hey, why don't you be quiet? You're being ridiculous.
I've never had anyone escorted out of a town hall meeting that I've ever had.
You're going to have me escorted because there's children being molested and there's people being raped by illegals.
Ma'am, to talk to the citizens here and let them talk to me.
But you're not answering the question. This man has a real question. It's happening.
Hey, listen, will you shut up?
No.
Yes, you will, or leave.
No, he's our senator of Arizona. We do have this happening. Then why doesn't he answer the question?
I'm the street theater manager, and I can't ask you to leave.
Am I being asked to leave?
I'm giving you a chance.
So, Senator, okay, so I'm going to be sitting around.
It's my theater.
It's your theater. Okay, well, he's not answering the man's question. There's children being... If you want to escort me, fine.
I will take you out.
He won't answer. That's fine.
Thank you.
Again, this one. After 9/11, President Bush sent troops with his coalition partners to Afghanistan and then into Iraq to eradicate terrorists. It is my belief that any nation in the world has the right to counterattack
any terrorist group or any terrorist nation.
American in their right mind can survive on that wage.
Right.
I understand.
What's the safeguards?
Thank you. By the way, thank you for your family's service and sacrifice. Thank you very much. And thank you, sir. Part of this deal is that the job is advertised at the salary that the job is for. And if no American takes it, then that person could not take that job at a lower salary. So this would eliminate the problem that you had so well described, which is widespread throughout America.
Well, no, but is there a safeguard in there that says that?
Yes, that if you didn't pay the wage and benefits that's advertised to an American, and that American doesn't take it, you cannot make an internal contract at a lower one with someone from outside the country.
I think my question is that they'll never offer it for a living wage in America.
Right.
They'll have to offer it at least minimum wage. At least. And then,
And we're never raising that, so.
But you know, I would be glad to work on that with you to make sure that those salaries are at a high level. I was down in Yuma recently and met with the Western growers. And I'd be glad to get them to tell you that there are many jobs that they advertise continuously, particularly the agriculture sector, that they just haven't been able to fill. Now maybe they're not offering high enough salaries to do so, and I think we need to work that out. And I'd be glad to make sure that those salaries and benefits that are offered are high enough so that they would be attractive to American workers. I'd be more than happy to work on that with you.
I have a comment on that.
Sure.
That so long as employers are allowed to offer substandard wages with no benefits in that, it doesn't do the Mexican population any better. They will always be second-class citizens and always be less than what American citizens are. I don't think that's the aim of anything.
I think you make a very valid point. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I have a discussion about the immigration issue. And one thing I didn't hear you address but would like to hear your views on is the root cause. When will Mexico be a magnet for employment?
Thank you. Probably our greatest disappointment has been the performance, in all due respect, of President Fox, who we had great high hopes for. As you know, he was the first non-machine politician that was elected president of Mexico. Now, if a member of the Mexican government were here, he'd say, well, you Americans didn't do enough on your side. I'd be glad to listen to that. But the problem is that the Mexican economy and government policies are such that they don't create a strong economy in Mexico. They're protectionist, their major industries are controlled by one or two major companies and corporations. Their oil company, for example, Pemex, I saw some figures the other day. They have like 175,000 employees. A private oil company, and I think, and don't hold me to these numbers, but like Shell, has larger operations and 1/3 the employees. And so there's inefficiencies within the Mexican economy, which doesn't allow it to grow, which doesn't create jobs, and therefore, obviously, they want to come to the United States of America. You may have noticed that a very hotly contested election took place on Sunday, which has not been decided yet. I hope they do decide it, and frankly, it was against a populist sort of not terrible, but certainly protectionist kind of a candidate, at least in my assessment of him, versus one who was much more free enterprise, deregulatory. But I think you know that the largest disparity between two nations that are contiguous, as far as the economy is concerned, the greatest difference is the United States and Mexico. And this leads to this problem that we're all
United States of Mexico.
So heavily charged here tonight. So we can't solve the Mexicans' problems for them. But they're going to have villages that are empty of young men and women unless they improve the lives of the people of Mexico, and that's just a fact. Yes, sir.